Hello, Facebook friends. I don't need to listen to myself now. My name's Ken Kors out here for Explore Momentum. Here doing a little mini Find Your Momentum. I haven't done this in a long time. So give me just a moment. I'm going to share this on my personal page for those of you who aren't following me on Explore Momentum or you aren't familiar with it. Going live here on Explore Momentum, answering Taya's question and talking about lead gen event in October. So I'm going to share that with my peeps. Welcome to everybody who's joining who have not seen this before. Actually, you would not have seen me on a live stream in probably about 3 or 4 years. I used to do a podcast back in the day called Fivecast that existed out there. And back in that show, I was focused more on the entertainment side. And then for about a year on Sacramento radio, Money 105.5, I was doing a radio show that was called Find Your Momentum Radio. And really, that show was about marketing questions, marketing tips, things that people wanted to know in general about business, about life. And what's interesting is over the past couple of months, I've been working on a new partnership that I've been trying to take to the world, trying to, really get back out there, get back on, because I've spent the last year of my life really consulting and kind of being in the weeds of marketing campaigns, of what people were doing, and really getting a lot of data, collecting a lot of information, finding out what was working when it came to Facebook ads, when it came to Facebook marketing. And so I'm trying not to get too deep into the question yet. I'm giving a few moments for people to jump on. As I mentioned, I did share this video on my personal. So just want to give everybody a few seconds to get on. But again, for those of you who don't know me so well, my name's Ken Kors. I'm a marketing and sales and business expert. I've been a consultant for over 10 years to a number of different companies, ranging from brand new startups like the one I'm working in now, all the way through to companies that at this point are just, crossing the $50 million mark in terms of real estate investing, all different sorts of industries, medical, health, supplies, multi-level marketing, direct sales. And actually, the genesis for this question came from direct sales. And I want to give a shout out to Belinda Ellsworth of Step Into Success, who I have done some consulting with over the past 6 months to help get her business launched and growing. We've done a great job over there. And this question actually came from her community. For those of you who don't know who she is, again, Step Into Success. She has a community over there that she offers to help train people who are in network marketing, direct sales, multi-level marketing. And this question came direct from her peeps. And so welcome to those of you who are jumping on right now. I'm hitting the play button so that I can watch. No listening to myself while that starts. So I'm getting myself up and running. And so let's go to Taya's question. And I wanted to come live. The reason I've been working on Facebook Live today, trying to get this up and running and trying to figure it out, was simply because I got a question that I knew was too much for me to ask and explain in an email. And for those of you who get emails from me, especially on the business side, you realize how verbose and how long-winded I can be in email. And I knew that this one would take some explaining because it's far more conceptual. And again, for those of you who haven't done any marketing training with me, you aren't familiar with what I do, again, I just want to announce that I'll be appearing at the Lead Gen event in LA on October 19th, and actually some events surrounding that as well. But really, Lead Gen event for those of you who are looking to generate more leads, those of you who are looking to get marketing systems in place, learn what I've learned over the past year in placing Facebook ads. I've actually placed over $50,000 in Facebook ads over the past year, probably even more than that, and really been testing out systems and seeing what works. We're bringing in other speakers who do the same thing at that event. So for those of you who want more of this type of thing, as always, I show you a little bit about what it's all about. And so let's go to Taya's question. So Taya sent me an email yesterday asking myself, as well as Belinda Ellsworth on the team. She was saying, I'm currently listening to the 5 questions you must ask before you start marketing, which was a webinar that I did over there for her community. And she said, it's very unique. The business I do doesn't do parties. The product is amazing, but we don't focus on selling the product as much as we do on helping people build residual income. So very interesting, common trait in the direct sales market. She says the goal is to approach them for a one-on-one just to share the opportunity to build a market. And I'm wondering what to say on the approach to both spark interest and deal with the fact that so many people are scared of marketing and shut it down with little to no information. And so one of the things that I want to talk about there that's pretty interesting is people have this idea that there's a fear of marketing. And in fact, it's not a fear of marketing itself that most people have. It's a fear of bad marketing that most people have. And so actually a webinar that I'm in development of right now that should be coming out in the next week or two is talking about the traits of bad marketing, or the traits of bad marketers who struggle with this type of thing. In fact, if you do marketing well, what tends to happen is people actually like your marketing. People look forward to it because when you're marketing well, you're in front of an audience that actually cares about whatever it is that you have to offer. And the reality is, for most people, is when their marketing is disconnected from their audience, it's because they have no idea what audience they're trying to speak to. They don't know who the person is that wants their product or service. So I imagine if you're just kind of shotgun approaching your marketing, Taya, and you're taking it out to anybody that'll listen, friends, family, kind of whoever's around you, that isn't necessarily the audience that wants to build residual income. So we're really going to look at a couple of different things in this question. First of all, what you didn't share with me is who's the audience. And that's actually the most important thing that you can do when it comes to marketing, is know who your audience is. Who is the human? Because then if you're putting a message in front of them that's about something that they want, something that they care about, something that's meaningful to them, then it makes a big difference. If you're just shotgunning it out and you have a bunch of people who, as you mentioned, are scared of marketing, they don't like what you're talking about, they don't like what you're sharing, then you have a much larger problem because you're not in front of the right audience of people, which in this case, you want to make sure that you are. And so I don't know that from the question you asked, which was really one of the first questions I asked in my initial response to you. I said, who are the people and how do they see the benefit? So if you're going to work this out, you would ask yourself, who is the market that's looking for residual income? And I'm just going to throw out some approaches. These may or may not be good. These are all things that we need testing. And any marketer that tells you they know the market, hopefully they have experience in it. But generally, what they're going to do is they're going to go and then develop a test. So who's looking for residual income? Well, first of all, they're employees. They're people that already have jobs. And they're looking for either additional income on the side, or they're looking to replace income from that job. So that's very important to be thinking of from the very beginning, is who are the audiences that are looking for residual income. You may also be looking for business owners that have businesses that allow them to create residual income during their normal time. So great example, a company I work with that works in the nutraceutical industry, is they work with a lot of doctors and naturopaths at this point who make residual income through their practice by selling nutraceuticals or by selling vitamins or by selling other products in their practice. So while they're doing the primary thing that makes them their revenue over time, they're also doing this thing that allows them to be able to generate additional income in what they're doing. So that company does that in particular. So with this product, not knowing the specifics of it and not doing a ton of research, the first thing you got to do is determine who's the market. Who cares about this thing that you're taking to market? Because that eliminates all of the tension that shows up around bad marketing. It eliminates the problem that you have that shows up when you're putting something in front of people who don't actually want it. And that's a big clue right there. And so then you came back and you talked about it. You talked about the product. And so in between, for those of you who didn't hear the beginning of this, in between what happened was I responded with an email, and then I went to take a look at the business that you suggested, this business that you were asking questions about. And so when I went and dug deeper into the business and looked into what you were doing, when I went to the website, I found out that, again, this was for a nutraceutical or a health type product, and you introduced it as a residual income opportunity. And that's one of the most common errors I see with direct salespeople. In fact, they try to get me to sell or market or create something or take something to market when I have no passion or no idea exactly of what the product or service is or what it does for me. So in your case, they have to have some experience or some functional idea of what it is that your product does, which again, I don't have a functional idea. I literally just went and followed the trails to get you to the answer to this question. So the reality is you might want to look at your approach and say, all right, if you're talking to an audience that's specifically there for residual income, you can use that message. However, if you're talking to an audience of people that would benefit from the product, you don't want to lead in the wrong order. You don't want to say, well, I have a lot of work for you. And in a residual income opportunity, what you're really saying is, I'd like you to do some work. You'll make some additional money, and it won't be super easy, but you're asking an audience that doesn't know you very well and has no real relationship with you to do some work. And for the most part, if I don't know you and you came up and you said, hey, can you go over there and get that thing for me? I probably wouldn't want to do it. So in this case, even if you're offering me something that I want at the end of the day, when it comes to residual income and that type of thing, I'm not willing to do the work because we don't have trust. I don't have experience with the product. I don't really know what it is that you're wanting me to do. And those things are critical for you to be thinking about. Right market, right conversation for that market. That's all that marketing is. And so you mentioned as you went on, it may not necessarily be a direct sales offer or an MLM type offer, so that's fine. You said we don't stock or sell the products or do parties, so it's not direct sales. You're very excited about the product, which is good. That's a big piece of what will keep you going forward with the offer. They're new and nobody knows about them yet. Perfect. So that means it's a market that, is open. Now, again, even though you have a product and the market might not have heard of your product, the market has heard of products in your space. I almost guarantee it. It's very rare that you run across products that there is no competitor or there isn't something comparable or there isn't something that exists in the market. Actually, in your case, I would imagine there's something out there that does exist that you want to be thinking about. So in this case, the growth potential is huge, absolutely, but you want to base that on the market, not the product itself. So many people do that backwards and they create great products, but they don't think about the market or how they're going to take them to market. And then from that point, you say the products are unique and don't have real competition because nothing can do what it does. Okay, that's fine, but you still want to go into the markets where people are already interested in products like this. It's bad if you're so unique that nothing in the world exists, because then you're essentially having to create the market, which you can do. It's just more expensive, or it just takes more time. And expensive to me can mean both an investment of time or money. So you want to be thinking about both of those things. So you've been trying to think of a quick message to approach friends and family and other. You need to call through and get some working. You put a little message together here that's pretty interesting. So you said, hey, how are you doing? I just came upon some super exciting information that I want to share with you. Okay, so let me give you a hint when it comes to copy on this thing. I just came upon some super exciting information. You cannot impose a feeling on someone else, even in copy. Even if it really is super exciting to that person, it's a big mistake to assume that they're going to be super excited about it. Now, it's not saying don't back off those words, but if you're imposing the feeling of, hey, you're going to be really excited to learn this thing, for the most part, if I'm reading it, I go, oh my God, you're going to try to sell me something. That's a great pitch for me to close the email. So I would not use that line personally, especially as early as you use it in the email. I just came across super exciting information, probably not the best. So what could you do that might make that better? You might ask a question that's specific to the person that you're speaking to. You might do something that you know is interesting to them, or lead with a bit more about the opportunity or a bit more about what the opportunity has done for you. So you might say, using this opportunity, I've made a certain amount of revenue in a certain amount of time, or using this, I've lost 20 pounds, or using this, I've experienced, better health and more energy all day, and those types of things. Whatever it is, you want a stronger lead than the one you put there. You put, have you heard of antioxidants? Okay, that's fine. I know my health insurance pays us money to eat antioxidants. My favorite part about this information is going to allow me to earn residual income from home. Okay, so at this point, you've spent 3 sentences talking about yourself rather than talking about me, the reader. And I want you to think about how most people read emails. I'm going to demonstrate this here. But most people are flipping on their phone like this. They're flipping through what they're doing. They're looking very quickly. You have to invest the time to capture their interest in general. If you don't, and you talk about yourself more than you talk about them, it's not going to be as interesting to your reader or compelling to your reader. So very important in what we're talking about with the copy here. So looking at this, you say then, I'd love to chat with you over Zoom, which is a video chat where I can see you face to face. You're asking me again for a fairly large commitment. You're asking me to say, all right, will I invest some time without even really knowing what it is, without me having a whole lot of buy-in? Again, at this point, expecting the other person to take the action that early, unless these are very close, very warm people in your list and doing what you're doing, is not the best approach. It's a no pressure meeting. So when you say that, my mind immediately assumes the opposite. So when you say it's a no pressure meeting, I immediately say, oh my God, it feels like there's going to be pressure involved with this thing. So you're going to try to sell me something. So the idea when I'm looking at this is saying, so I've just found some exciting information, but you don't know if I'm excited. It's a breakthrough in health. It's a no pressure meeting. You've given me 3 triggers right there that say sales, sales, sales. And I can tell you, again, if I'm not a validated, verified market, then I don't want to sit through a sales presentation. And so the copy is doing a disservice to what you're trying to do in this case. So now let's move on. And you said, all right, you're going to try the flip side. And so again, I know that I'm spending a lot of time kind of carving up this, but I want you to see when I'm carving up the email, what I'm trying to give you is the good advice that you can use and implement that will help you improve this process. Because what we want to do here is actually make some improvements to what we're doing. So you want to ask better questions. You want to validate your market or your person a little more. You want to speak to them directly. So you don't want to spend too much time talking about yourself, even if it is the greatest opportunity in the world. I know plenty of people who have great products, great services, and market them terribly. And I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but I'm saying that it is possible. So now let's look at the second email that you sent and that you put in here. You said, hello, I just found some exciting information. All right, so as a lead, I think that is better than how you said it before. You did say, I just came upon some exciting information. If I'm opening that, I may want to read more. So I don't think it's that bad in this one. But again, starting with just me personally as a copywriter, I wouldn't want to start with talking about me. In fact, in the best copy training and the best practice I've always gone through, you want to try to write with as little I, me, we, us as possible, because we're really engaging a reader. It's almost like a two-way street. And I want to talk more about them than I talk about me. So this is a breakthrough in health. Okay. Have you heard of antioxidants? So it's very similar. I know my health insurance pays us money to eat antioxidants. That looks exactly the same. My favorite part about this information is going to allow me to earn residual income from home. Can I tell you more about it? I like can I tell you more about it since it's more of a question. That said, it's still kind of a passive question because if the answer is no, then there's really nowhere else to go in this conversation. I would love to chat with you over Zoom. Again, that's a lot of commitment. It's a no pressure meeting. I would just take that line out. The second you say it's no pressure, people are going to think that it's pressure. So you want to be really careful on that with what you're putting in the copy there to say it's a no pressure meeting. Yes, there's the pressure of you wanting me to buy. And then I just want to share information with you because I'm so excited about it. So I'm glad you're excited about it. Again, not getting me super excited. So let's take a few steps back from these emails. I've given you some very specific feedback. And now I just want to talk about in general, what do people want at the end of the day? So you got to ask yourself the fundamental question of the person that's reading this email and the person that's going to take your product and the person that's going to be involved on the residual income side of what you're doing. They're going to be somebody that's passionate about it because there's some sort of result that they're wanting or some sort of thing specifically that they're looking for. So in this case, you're either appealing to an audience who wants more money, who wants better health, or who wants specific benefits related to the health of the product, services, supplements, antioxidants that you have and what you're doing. So we have to take a step back and we have to say, how do most people approach those things? So how do most people approach the idea of making new money? Most people, especially when you start talking about money in general, get really nervous, or there's a lot of nervous, weird energy about that type of thing. A lot of people aren't super comfortable talking about it. So if you're going to talk about it, you want to be as specific as you possibly can. So you want to talk about the result that you've created or the result that other people have created. Focus on a specific result and specific information related to that result. I'm more likely to listen if it feels real as opposed to you just saying, oh, all right, this is an opportunity. You could do a lot of work. You might make some money. Good luck to you. And that's the common direct sales pitch for most people when they hear that type of thing. Oh, great. Yeah, this is really going to work. We'll see. And the reality is if you can tie it through to specific examples, that's going to make it a lot more believable in what we're doing. The person that takes antioxidants, any of those types of things, there's two ways to approach it. And for me, I'm normally going to approach it with this first one. If I'm in the market for supplements, if I'm in the market for antioxidants, if I'm in the market for thinking that way, then I know that I've got some sort of problem that I've got to solve. So is it too much weight? Is it not sleeping well enough? Is it don't have energy at the end of your workday or even in the morning when you wake up in the morning? Is it not sleeping well? I might have said that one already, but you'll notice what I'm doing when I'm thinking about it is I'm thinking about specific problems that person has that I can address at this point. I'm thinking about the idea of saying, all right, this person has a problem that they've got that I can solve with what I have involved. And so my copy, again, when I'm thinking of emails or I'm thinking of what I'm doing, my copy has to do that job for me very specifically. I can't just come in and assume that A, you have any of these problems because I don't know what problem you have, and B, that that's the reason that you're there specifically. So for me, when people say, well, how do we talk about that question or how do we talk about that thing? Then I have to step back and I have to say questions are the answer. So great questions are what create interest in copy. Great questions are what get you engaged in a conversation rather than me having to do the heavy lifting. Because as a marketer, I could do all sorts of things. And I will say the best type of marketing is knowing a specific person and targeting them with a specific offer and taking that to them. But for the most part, most people don't know those answers right away, especially new entrepreneurs. So you're in a testing phase. So how can you figure out what's going to work the best? You're going to ask lots of questions. And you're going to do this right in your copy, or you're going to do this right in your sales pitch. In fact, there's a great book. I've read it a bunch of times. I just read it again recently called Ask by Ryan Levesque. For those of you that haven't read it, that talks about how do you systemize the ability to ask in what you're doing. And so for a lot of you, that's what you need to do to get your copy right, to get your conversation right. And so with this opportunity, I'd be saying, which market would be the market that I can reach the fastest? And that's a question about me that I would be saying, am I more comfortable having a conversation with people about money and earning? Or am I more comfortable in having a conversation with people about the products itself and what the product does for me? And then based on that, I'm going to rewind with either conversation back to the point where I'm going to be the beginner that's coming into that. Why did I start taking the product? Why did I get concerned about antioxidants? What was it that drew me in? Was it a specific health condition? Was it a specific, reason with energy or any of those things? Was it just that I was curious and I had some natural curiosity about that type of thing? Could be any of those things. But I want you to be thinking about it from that beginner position. That's so critical to say, all right, what's the beginner position? And then I'm going to speak to that person and understand that they're not going to know a lot about it. They're not going to be that super engaged. Like a great marketing mentor of mine always used to use this quote that she was talking about that I really enjoyed in this quote that basically said, there is no human as interested as they are, even if they're your best friend, that's sitting around waiting for your email to arrive in their inbox or sitting around waiting for your text message to come through on your phone. All of us have our own lives, our own things that we're doing. And so the job of our copy or the job of our sales pitch or the job of our marketing efforts or whatever it is that we're doing have to be very specific to that person on the other side that captures their interest, that pulls them in, that grabs them. And we're going to focus on pain points. We're going to focus on emotion that helps you get there. We're going to focus on all these different ideas that help us craft better copy. So again, I went through those emails, and again, I know that I was very critical of those emails, but copy is really a first impression. And here's the thing. Once someone's deleted an email, once someone said that's not the thing that I want, once someone's confused or any of those different things happen, then you're at a point now where it's very, very challenging and difficult to actually get that person back. So at that point, what ends up happening is the likelihood is the next email you send is margins of magnitude smaller that they're going to open and smaller that they're going to open. And then what happens is we get into a marketing cycle where we have to constantly be going out and finding new people. So copy is the most critical component of marketing campaigns. It's the most critical thing that you can create. And great copy starts with great questions. How does the person feel? How does the person want to feel? How does the person care about your industry or the thing that you do right now? So in your case, when we're talking about health, lots of great reasons to care about health. Now, the other thing that we know about this industry, when you're talking about supplements or you're talking about any of those things, is the thing that we know about this industry is a lot of people say that their health is a big concern to them, that their weight is a big concern, that they're not sleeping, that their energy is low. But a lot of people will say that and are still not motivated to fix the problem. So your job in your copy is to motivate them to actually move to that point by either creating enough pain or giving them an opportunity that's going to give them enough in what they're doing to really move them forward. And so in this case, when I'm looking at your copy, I'm trying to think from that perspective. So again, which conversation makes the most sense to you, Taya? Is it the money conversation or the health conversation? information? What are the problems that you're going to solve for that person? What great questions can you ask that person that are really going to hook them in and move them to the next level? And again, a lot of this will require asking and working with people and testing some theories over time to do what you're doing. So very critical to do there. And then the most important question of all, and in fact, this is a question I use with a lot of my coaching and consulting clients that I want to bring to you that's really specific. Who cares? Who cares is the most important question you can ask in your marketing. I've learned that from one of my favorite marketing mentors, Martha Hanlon, who has a great book, Customers Are the Answer to Everything. But who cares? Who cares about this product or service? At the end of the day, if I can't get you to a point where you're emotionally involved or you care enough, I've lost you. And so when I look at this email, I would say the first thing that comes to mind is there's definitely a whole lot of who cares. There's definitely a whole lot of you found some exciting information. Great, who cares? Unless I know that you care already. This is a breakthrough in health. Do I care about breakthroughs in health? Have I heard of antioxidants? Sure. I know my health insurance pays us money to eat antioxidants. Okay, again, not really gripping me there. My favorite part about this information is going to allow me to earn residual income from home. Okay, I might care about that. That might be a hook, but if I'm not, you've lost me. Can I tell you more about it? Again, passive. I would love to chat with you over Zoom. Again, high commitment. I talked about that there. It's a no pressure meeting. I just want to share the information with you because I'm so excited about it. Great. All those things are great. But at the end of the day, we have to create more compelling reasons for someone to pay attention to what we're doing and tie it through to the result that they want, the result that they're looking for. So I know I covered a lot of information. Obviously, this will be available for replay. I saw a couple of you shared this out there. Thank you for those of you that shared and liked it. My name's Ken Kors, and again, if you want to get the full training, I'll be appearing in October at the Lead Gen event in Los Angeles, so you can come full day training where we're going to talk about that. I'll be specializing in nurture campaigns, which are really your upsell campaigns, or how do you take things to the next level. We'll be talking about copy, but if you don't follow this page, Explore Momentum, make sure you follow. There'll be marketing tips like this all the way through. I'm a big believer in showing you, not just telling you what I can do. So if you have other questions that you'd like me to answer on this mini little episode of Find Your Momentum, make sure you ask those. You can ask those in the comment. Just post them right on my page. I pull those from other sources. Again, thank you to Step Into Success and the Belinda Ellsworth team. That's where this question came from. I'll be sharing this with the community there as well. So thanks for joining, and I look forward to getting to know you better in time, and hopefully see you at the Lead Gen event in LA. See you soon.